It's November 22nd, 2025, and I just wanted to share a little bit about a transit that we're going through in America that's fairly significant. And this is the Jupiter transit over natal Mercury. So, what you're dealing with here is this is a transit that happens approximately every 12 years when the planet Jupiter passes over the natal birthplace of Mercury, all right, for the USA natal chart. Now, this is a natal chart for July 4th, 1776 at 4:50 p.m. in Pennsylvania, all right, or in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I mean. So, what does it do? Well, Jupiter tends to amplify, tends to expand Mercury. Mercury, which is in Cancer, 24 degrees in minutes, or as I would read it in the synergistic astrology, be 25 degrees, or the 292nd vibration entitled the Refined Guiding Mastery. It turns up the volume on the country's mind, voice, communication to guide and protect others and not to be overly controlling. That's part of the battle of that energy. Where this takes place, it occurs in the 8th house, which tends to rule shared power, uncovering secrets, debt, crisis, and things we don't really like to talk about necessarily, like corruption, blackmail, and intelligence agencies. In simple terms, the transit is when America feels a major violation or threat and feels compelled to loudly declare a big news story about power and security. So the historical proof of this is when this transit happens, the U.S. consistently identifies a major enemy and commits to a long-term, expensive strategy usually. Recent examples of this include the 1954-55, when Jupiter went in conjunction at that point, which was 3 times that particular period. The entire Cold War strategy, CETO, the Formosa Resolution, really more of an external rewrite of our alliances. In 1966, where we see a 1 pass, it's the peak Vietnam War escalation. In 1978, we have the secret start of the funding of the Mahadin, or the leading to the future conflict there. In 1990, there was the New World Order and the buildup to the Gulf War. In 2002, that was what was called the Axis of Evil and the push for the Iraq War. And then in 2014, we degrade and destroy ISIS and through a new global coalition. Right? So the pattern is fairly clear that Jupiter on Mercury equals America's announces a big new enemy and a grand new burden. The unique 2025-2026 projection, this up-and-coming transit is different than most, okay, for one key reason. We have 4 passes this time, so it's a much longer period. Most of them have been a single conjunction point, where 1954-55 had 3, but here we have 4. October 18th, October 25, December 5th, and June 1st of 2026. More passes, a deeper and more lasting impact. Now, in the past, in 1954-55, the 3-pass transit locked in the entire Cold War strategy. And then in 25 and 26, the projection here is it suggests the focus will turn more inward. The violation America hears will likely be about problems inside its own power structure. The focus will be on corruption, blackmail, hidden control within the U.S. government and elite circles, major leaks, scandals about intelligence agencies or politicians. The process, October 2025, a major story breaks or crystallizes. December 2025, a fierce battle over the narrative and attempts to control or suppress it. And then finally in June of 2026, the outcome is locked in, either real reform or cleaning house or a cover-up and tighten controls. The bottom line here is America will be forced to confront its own secrets and decide whether to become a more honest guide that shares its gifts or descend into worse infighting, control, and isolation. The story we lock in by June of 2026 will define the next decade. These are the energies, these are the waves that we're going through now. Just be aware.